Hello and welcome. In this lesson, we will learn how to create summary reports from a spreadsheet which has a large number of columns and rows. And we will be using some of the concepts that we have learned in the earlier lessons, like Vlookup and formatting data as table, and also the use of data validation through dynamic lists. So here we have a big table having 20 columns, and just for the purpose of clarity I have numbered these columns. So this has 20 columns, and just want to quickly point out that column number 2 is order date, column number 4 is order quantity, column number 11 is customer name. So the reason why I'm pointing all this out is because we are going to use this table and use Vlookup to pull out these column names. Column number 17 is product name, and column number 20 is shipping date. So some columns of interest here for this lesson. So we will visualize the situation. Let us say we are an e-commerce company and people are placing orders and we are dispatching orders, and we run a small call center and people are phoning in, and the call center operator asks them for the order ID, and based upon the order ID given by the customer, the call center operator needs to have summary information, for example like the order date, the name of the customer, that is column 11, order date is column number 2, the quantity that was ordered, column number 4, and maybe column number 17, the name of the product, and finally the date of the shipping. And when they have this information, they can inform the calling customer about the status of their order. So this is a small scenario that we'll try to work upon. And what we're basically trying to do is that the call center operator will type in an order number, for example, given by the customer, and based upon that order number, we will use this table through a Vlookup function to bring out important information related to that order, like the order date, column number 2, order quantity, column number 4, customer name, column number 11, product name, column number 17, and the date of shipping, column number 20. And of course we can add any other column that we want and feel is relevant to this particular report. So the first thing that we want to do here is that we want to, because this is a very big sheet, it has 8,000 rows and orders are constantly being added. We cannot expect the call center operator to possibly, kind of remember all the numbers. So we want to provide a drop down here. And the way we do this is through data validation. We will have to create a list of this first column. So I'm going to click on this particular column, this particular cell, and press Ctrl Shift and the down arrow key to select all entries in this column from this point onwards. So Ctrl Shift and down arrow key selects all data items in that column from that point, and I'm going to just simply give it a list. So I will just say list of orders. I'm going to name this selection or this range that I have selected as list of orders. So this has now been named as list of orders. If we want to see this, we can go to formulas and name managers, and we have a range of cells ordered as list of orders. Okay, so I'm going to come back here and go to data and data validation, and as discussed before, we will use a list, and that list is going to come from list of orders. The range of cells is the name that we have given there, and sure enough, we have populated this cell with all possible orders. So our data entry operator can either type something here or can just simply pick up an order number from the list. Okay, so as of now, this list is static, it's not a dynamic list, but we will try to make this into a dynamic list a little later on. Okay, so this is one of the things that we have effected through data validation through lists. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull out information like the name of the customer, then the date of order, okay, or the order date, and then next would be the quantity of the order, followed by the name of the product, followed by the shipping date. Okay, and I'm going to pull this information in this column here, or this cell here, by using the Vlookup function. So if you recall, the Vlookup function requires a few things. Let us just revise those before we move forward. It says it needs a lookup value, so I have this as my lookup value. This is what I'm going to match. Then it needs a table array, so we will have to go back and declare this whole thing as a table array, either provide cell references or name it, and then we'll say which column, if a match is found, which column do we want the result to come from. So we will go and pull out matched information from column number 2, column number 4, column number 11, and so on and so forth, 17 and 20. And then finally, whether you want an exact match or an approximate match. So in this particular case, because we are looking for an order ID, we will be doing an exact match. So before we can start entering this Vlookup formula, we need to declare this entire thing as we'll have to name this, select and name this. So let me just get rid of the first row, which was just for illustration. So I have deleted that first row. Now we have only data available with us. So I'm going to just come here, and instead of, I can just select this and press Ctrl A to select my entire block of data and enter a name and use it in the Vlookup function on the next sheet. But this time I'm going to declare this whole block of data as a table, format it as a table, and I'm just going to go ahead and say Ctrl T, and it says my table has headers, so I will just simply say OK. So there we are. So we have created a table. Notice that the last entry in this the last order number is 56581. Okay, and so if I come here to my list and if I go down, this is 56581. But because we have converted this into a table, any new row that I am going to add here, if suppose a new order is taken, that row will also be included in this table, and by that virtue we have just created a dynamic list. Let us try that out using the data entry tab, which was explained in the previous video. We will click on the form button, and then we will enter a new row or a new order. So this order number is 60,000. Okay, and we will say the priority is high and the quantity is 34, and so on and so forth, and we will just say close. So a new order has been actually created here in this, and if we head back to our sheet here and come down, you will find that that order number is also part of our list, because when the new row was created, it was included inside the list by the virtue of the fact that this is a table. Okay, so this is one benefit that we have reaped. Now we will head back and just perform a few Vlookup functions to extract information out of our table. Let us just come here and let me just make this right. Okay, so I'm just going to start with my Vlookup. So Vlookup, I want you to match this, whatever is inside this cell, with the table name. So now the thing is, I really don't know the table name, and so what I'm going to do is I will just head up to Formula, Name Manager, and I find that it is table 1. Okay, if I want to give it a better name, I can just press edit and call it all data, okay, or something like that. So I have named my table all data, as can be seen here, and of course our list of orders is already there. That is the list that is populating this particular cell. So I'm just coming back here, equal to Vlookup, match this cell with all data. So you don't need to specially name the range, the table name will do, and that is a benefit of declaring something as a table, or formatting something as a table, a block of data as table. So all data. First up, I'm going to pull out my order date, the name of the customer, which was in column 11. So we are saying match this with all the data in the previous table. If you find a match, go to column number 11 in that row and populate that value here. That's what the Vlookup is saying, and we need an exact match. So I'm going to just do this, and the name of the customer has been pulled out. So we are going to repeat the same process again, and the only difference between these formulas is just simply the column that is being returned. So I'm going to come back here, Vlookup, and match this with all data, and the order date was in column number 2, so return column number 2 and false match. So you can also type in 0 for a false match and 1 for a true match, same thing. So this has come, it looks like a number, and that is because this has to be formatted as a date, this cell. So we can just head home and go to this tab here, this drop box, and choose short date. So this is our date. Okay, so this was the date on which the order was placed, and now we're going to pull out the quantity. So again, we look up, okay, and the exact same thing, look for this match in all data, and the quantity was in column number 4 and false or 0, whatever I want to put here, same thing, and there we are. So the quantity ordered was this. So I can even drag this formula down and just kind of correct it, and I can just simply come here and say match this and return 17, which is the name of the product. Okay, so this is the name of the product, and finally the shipping date. So we will just write in that final formula here, match this with all data, and the shipping date was in column number 20, so return column number 20 and false. So, and we can call this as shipping report. So, and we can spruce this up a little bit just to make it look a little good. And once again, this is a date, so we will have to head back to this drop down and format it as a date, a short date, and bring it back here. So now this is a really fantastic thing, using Vlookup and format table and dynamic data lists. Somebody calls a call center, and the call center person just says, can you please tell me the order? The person tells the order number, the call center person picks up, and immediately response saying, am I talking to David Weiner, and did you order this on 21/11? The quantity was 7, the name of the item was so much, and it was dispatched on 22/01/11. And this is how they can, you know, very quickly pull out information from this particular sheet. Okay, and not only that, let us say we have an order number 613. So instead of pulling it out from this list, the person can just simply go ahead and type it. So we can just say 613, and they have information for 613. So this is how you can create summary reports, and we can create another report pulling out data from these columns. And so you can have a large number of reports on this sheet. All you need to do is to pick up something, okay, 1 2 2 2, and you have all information about that particular order right in front of you. So this is a great way of using Vlookup, data tables, and dynamic data validation through lists to create as many useful reports and get data out of a very big sheet in a very short span of time. So hope you have enjoyed this video, and hope you will be able to create reports using Vlookup and data tables and dynamic list validations. Thank you for watching.